Hey everyone! So we're going to start this, and the first thing I wanted to talk about with you all is warming up before you play. And we had been talking about this a little bit before in class, before spring break. So let's just do this as a friendly reminder and you can play with me. I wanted to remind you, you can sit or stand if you want to do this if you're a violin or a viola. If you're a cellist, you should probably sit. And if you're a bass player, pick one. What are you more comfortable with? So I'm going to sit for a little bit. The first thing we're going to do is I just want you to play some open strings. And when you play, I want you to focus on opening up your arm to where you're not moving the shoulder. Like that doesn't look good, okay? You're not moving the shoulder, you're moving out with your elbow. So if I start this, I'm just going to do open D. So if I'm on my violin or whatever instrument you're playing, and I start on my open D, I'm going to start at the frog, okay? Start at the frog, make sure you have a nice bow hold, pinky on top, okay? And that you're moving out with your elbow. In order to do that, did you see how my wrist also had to move? You can also focus on making sure that your bow is staying in between the bridge and the end of the fingerboard. So just do that a few times, do it on each string. That's a really good way to get your arm working. Let's move on. Let's go into something that we all worked on beforehand and I was having you do. So if you have your instrument up in tabletop position, I want you to, again, I'm starting on D, set, wiggle, stop, pop. And when you pop, you're popping out, not pop. That's not how you play your instrument. We'll do this together. Set, wiggle, stop, pop. If you're doing this on the cello, you're going to do a similar situation. You're going to just make sure your hand is on the cello itself. Again, I'm just going to be doing this on D. I'll start at the frog. Don't use a violin or viola bow hold in a Sperotto, okay? You're going to set, wiggle, stop, pop. But your popping motion is different. So you don't want to do this, like, because you kind of look like a baby bird when you do that. That's not what we're going for. You want to go out. So it's an out moment. And do you see how also I have to move my wrist to make that motion? So it's set, wiggle, stop, pop when you go out. On both the violin, viola, cello, or bass, it doesn't matter what you're playing, you need to make sure that you do this on each string, and you can do that as part of your warm-up. Another way to warm up is with scales. Start with scales, and you can do those long bows when you do them. Well, maybe a good idea is if you're about to play something from Essential Elements or Miller Rush, or maybe there's a piece of sheet music you're about to do, a good idea is to maybe play the scale or the key that's in first, and then go ahead and do that piece, and that could be part of your warm-up as well. One more thing I think would be good for you all to keep in mind, and if you're in the intermediate or advanced orchestras, we definitely started talking about this, is moving while you're playing. So if you're going to be moving while you're playing, this might be new for beginners. If you're a violinist or a violist, it's best to start this standing. Cellos or bass, you can choose to sit or stand. Cellos, just sit. You sit. So first I want you to go side to side with your feet planted on the floor. I like to do maybe a tiny bit past my hip distance apart, so I have a solid ground. You could definitely take a squat if you needed to. So I like doing that, and I like making my feet in a slight V shape. You don't have to, but for me that's very comfortable, and I feel solid when I do that. But you're going to move side to side like this. If you're a cellist, you're going to stay seated, but you're going to go side to side. So it's almost like you're rocking back from butt bone to butt bone. and violas, or if you're a bass and you're standing, you can do this. Make sure you're able to feel solid on the ground. The next thing you're going to do is with your instrument, make sure you're going out and not to the side, and that doesn't matter if you're doing violin, viola, or cello or bass. Don't go like that. It's not how we play. When you do this, make sure you're moving with the bow. So when we try this, again, I'm just going to do this on open D. I'm going to go, when I take a down bow, I'll go with the bow, and then this way up bow. And you can move your legs, you can move your knees when you're doing this to make this motion. So it might look something like this. You're going to feel silly doing it, and it's okay. Try doing that on all of your open strings. If you're a cellist or maybe you're a bass player and you're choosing to sit when you're doing this, on your open D, this is what that would look like. Try to make it as smooth as you can. Something like that. Now the next one I want you to do is opposite, and it's going to feel funky at first, but eventually it's like learning a dance move. You'll get it. So while your bow is going down bow, I would like you to move your body in the opposite direction. So the motion, you can practice it without making sound first, will almost look like this. Notice I'm still using my elbow, and I have to use my wrist to make that motion. I'm not doing this. Motion is not coming from your shoulder. So if I did this on my open D, it would look something like this. This is for violins and violas. I do this motion a lot if I know there's something that I have to get to the frog to. I'm actually using my body to help me get to the frog. Instead of just my arm attention, I'm using my body to do that. So that actually helps a lot with this particular motion. If you're a cellist or a bassist, it's the same thing, and just like the violins, violas, this motion will help you get to the frog, because you're almost, and you can practice it. So if your bow's going down bow, it's like you're allergic, so you're gonna go away. And sometimes you even see like famous cellists and bassists doing these kinds of motions. So you can practice it without making sound first, and then you can go. So you can like learn the dance move. All right, so let's do this. Does that happen, you guys? Like your hair gets tangled in this? Ugh, so annoying. Okay, so open D, let's do the dance. Make sure you're bending from the elbow and not your shoulder. Practice that on all of your open strings as a warm-up. This warm-up can take anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. I know professional musicians in the Sperotto Orchestra, they'll practice on open strings sometimes for up to 15 minutes. I'm not asking you to practice 15 minutes on just open strings, but even if it's just 5 minutes to get the motion and the bow hold that you need to play everything else, it'll help considerably. I hope this video was helpful for you all. This was actually my very first video for strings, which is weird. You think I would have like done this before, but I haven't. So yay. Okay, I hope this helped. There's a bajillion more videos to come, and I hope you're all doing well. All right, bye.